Studio. Check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing, the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. This is Sunday. This is the 20th of November. This is when the cream rises to the top. We are here. We are the SBTV Nation, and we are getting ready for the NFL, and very excited to get a couple of people on the line. First off, I've got the evil genius on the line with us today.
What's going on, Matt?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling today?
Well, no, I need the NFL to be like my cardiac arrest plates. You know, I mean, yesterday, look, let's just start it and end it right now. It was not good.
All right, and do I finally have the dream on?
What's good, player? What's happening?
Oh, how you feeling after that big Scorpion Bowl last night, son?
Oh, no, the Scorpion Bowl, I'm good. Just getting back late because the weather was dreadful last night. Driving home, it was absolutely insane, as you well know.
Yes.
And just getting in so late and then getting up.
No doubt,
Scorpion
man.
Bowl was good.
Oh, definitely, guys. So, good morning to you. We are the SBTV Nation. We are live on Twitter at sbtvnation.com. Everybody is ready to rock. And everybody is ready to get into the NFL. But before we do that, we need to have a conversation of what went down in collegiate football yesterday. Now, luckily for me, I went 2-1. But the problem was my one loss was my biggest play of the day. And for the first time in 9 years, after they have the worst team that they've had in probably 5 years, the Yale Bulldogs knock off Harvard, Dream. I can't believe it. And you know what? It probably, I'm sure that you probably bet the game, Dream, so that's why I lost.
That would be a negative.
That would be a negative. Oh, okay. All right, because I felt your cloud over it. I felt it. So we'll see what ends up going down there. But the Wyoming and Nebraska get it done. And you know what? Just looking at the rest of it here, I'm surprised that the Ohio State University, Dream, won by 1 point. Did you watch this game?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. I got involved in it as well. I happened to take the spread. I had it under 20.5. I started out, my day, the beginning of the day was absolutely dreadful. I mean, I got pounded. Pounded yesterday. As everywhere I turned, Ohio State didn't win. Then I got beat up with the Utah play. Luckily enough, though, the night stuff panned out a little bit better. The overs worked out, and the Habs absolutely saved the day for me in hockey. The Habs absolutely saved the day. And Cash Action Bets actually talked me off of Charlotte. So I never even played the Charlotte game. So the night cleaned up the mess, but it still, was a negative day in general.
Oh, got it. So looking at the rest of it here, Michigan struggled a little bit. They were actually down at the half, 7-3. This Indiana team has been a problem in the Big Ten. They're tough guys. They always seem to give you a stomach ache. And you know what? They do fairly well when they're in an underdog position. But Michigan wins in Ann Arbor, and that sets up the massive showdown this week when they go into Columbus and play the Ohio State University next week, Dan.
I don't even know what you expect from that game right now. I'm just kind of thrown by both these teams. I mean, I still don't understand why they go for 2 yesterday. So I want to know that. Because I felt like Ohio State's offense was really discombobulated. That being said, going into that matchup next week, I'm pretty heavily favoring Michigan right now.
Really? Dream, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I still am going to go with Ohio State. I mean, I think that all these teams, for whatever reason, They have tough games. I mean, you have no clear-cut team. Unfortunately, just like regular football in the NFL, there's no clear-cut powerhouse team. I mean, look, Alabama didn't even cover your spread just saying. It was 10-3 like at the half.
No, you called it. You called?
Yeah, it was crazy. So I don't know whatever reason it is, week in and week out, you get this different product out of these teams. The thing that bothers me about Michigan, though, Michigan's inability to be effective to execute on offense.
Yeah, I know.
I just feel that is going to be a problem with them, especially against this Ohio State team who has a pretty decent defense. And I did talk about Michigan State. It's a huge rivalry with Ohio State. So those kids, they got up and they played above their heads. And Dan, as far as 2-point conversion, which I agree with you. Listen, I like the call, except I didn't like the call in that game because as far as I was concerned, you had the ability to win. If you didn't have the ability to win the game and you hadn't played so tough against Ohio State, then I liked the call because the idea was you go for 2. If you don't get it, your defense will probably be able to hold so you can still get the ball back. But in yesterday's case, they had the ability to win that game.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of the dumber moves I've seen in a long time.
All right, sounds good. So moving on here to Clemson Tigers get it done over Wake. Pretty impressive, considering the fact they were up 21-0 in the first quarter. Washington beats Arizona State. They win by, 26 points. So they got the job done. Jake Browning had a pretty good game as far as that's concerned. The Wisconsin Badgers go into Purdue and layeth the smacketh down with 35 points in the second quarter and win 49-20. And guys, I got to be honest with you. The Wisconsin Badgers in the Big Ten, they got to be the favorite to win the Big Ten right now, considering the fact that Penn State next week has Michigan State, and I'm feeling they're going to win that game. And it would probably be Wisconsin versus Penn State, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of feeling this Penn State team. I don't know. I mean, Purdue stinks. Purdue, come on, let's be. Purdue was 3-7 going into that game.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking right now, where's that game? Where would that game be played? Where's the champion?
Probably a neutral site.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, some neutral site, but I'm saying I don't know if Penn State doesn't beat Wisconsin on a neutral site.
All right. Speaking of Penn State, they win 39-0 over Rutgers. So you know what? Hey, this Rutgers team is bad. Brutal, man.
It's a disgrace.
It is a disgrace. Oklahoma over West Virginia. So the home team underdog on primetime did not work out in that particular situation, but they were only -3.5. Let's see. In the Pac-12, you had Colorado.
Pull the brakes on that for a second.
Yes.
Because had West Virginia won, you would have opened the show with the home.
You want to go there, Dream?
How did we feel in Oklahoma yesterday? I was the dumbass that ruled the home team dog. I can't. And then 28-0 or whatever right away.
Would you like to go into what the numbers are if you took all home team underdogs yesterday?
I do not. But
because
I think
going into last night's game, you were up.
That's prime time, though. That's the prime time.
You were up almost 20 units going into like the 7:00 games last night. Just yesterday.
That's the prime time spot.
All right, whatever. Anyway, moving on here. Colorado gets the job done over Washington State, and Colorado is going to most likely be in that Pac-12 championship.
It's a good football team.
It is a real good football team. So, looking at the rest of it here, Oklahoma State lays the smackdown on TCU. The Oregon Ducks, 4-7. Oregon Ducks beat number 12 Utah in Utah, Dan.
Ugh.
Yeah, brutal.
Ugh, that's all you can say. I mean, it was so bad. It was just such terrible football out of Utah. Let's move on.
All right, and USC with this remarkable turnaround after starting 0-2 have ran off 7 straight wins to finish their conference schedule, and they win big. They beat UCLA 36-14. Dream, this USC team is not bad.
I told you. I've been all over it. I was all over it again yesterday. I watched this team, and I've been really impressed with the turnaround. I don't really put my finger on what exactly they've done, but they
quarterback change. It's all about the new quarterback.
Yeah, that too, right? Good. Yeah, but defensively though, Dan. I mean, defensively they're playing very well too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. No, that's very true. I think USC. Remember, I mean. They went on the road to Alabama for their first game of the year.
Yeah, good point.
And got absolutely smoke showed, and I think that kind of held a little cast, and then they realized they were playing with what should be their third string quarterback, and ever since they put that kid in, you're right, the defense has stepped up where it needs to step up. But man, the kid is, I mean, he's just a legit presence back there. And I think he calms the whole team down. But I'm really wondering. I mean, they beat Notre Dame, right? So they go to 9-3 next week. There's no way that they can get into a championship game, right?
No.
No way.
No, not with the losses that they have, because
right.
I believe they started out 0-2 in the pack, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
So,
no, you're right.
Yeah, all right. So moving on here to the rest of it. Auburn big over Alabama A&M, 55-0. Florida upsets LSU in LSU and wins 16-10. If you guys have any thoughts on these games, please cut me off. Florida State, 45-14 over Syracuse. Nebraska gets it done, as we talked about. Tennessee murders Missouri. Western Michigan, Dream, covers the spread again, 38-0.
Yes, they do. That's your team, and they've been covering the spread. In a little bit of weather conditions was out there. It was a little fun game. Got a little, yesterday was kind of nice, man. Had a little wintry mix in a few of these games, and that went over very well as far as watching football and kind of getting in that mood to watch football in the wintertime.
Definitely.
There is nothing better than watching snow football on a 4K TV. Even my kids, my little kids were just amazed by the way it looks. It's just that's the way football is meant to be.
Absolutely. I can't wait to just sit on my couch all day and watch football today.
Oh my God.
24 Stanford gets it done over California. Texas A&M gets it done, and that wraps up the top 25.
Don't forget
Washington. Exactly. So
44-18 over a brutal Arizona State team.
Yes, sir.
Dream, the overs.
Yeah.
I may have found my new thing. I may be Hats found the home team primetime dog trick. I may be starting to move to totals with college football.
You might be feeling total. Yeah, your totals have been spot on.
Yeah.
Well, I may start moving to totals with college football.
You did give them a little garbage about that Wash State Colorado over yesterday.
Yeah, right. I did.
I can't. The thing about it is I can't. I don't know. You guys, I can't figure these teams out week to week. I mean, the product that you get week to week out of these teams, you think this team's got the momentum. Right now, outside of USC and Oklahoma, okay, it's you cannot figure out what these top-ranked teams are going to do. I mean, yeah, Alabama does win, and you kind of move them over to the side. But when you go 2 down, it's what the hell are you going to get?
Yeah, you don't know.
100%.
Just like Jekyll and Hyde out there.
It is. And I got to be honest with you, too. Ohio State yesterday, dude, the quarterback play yesterday was dreadful.
Yeah.
He was missing wide open guys, and the accuracy is – I'm like, what happened to the dude? I mean, did you go out last night? Seriously?
I don't know, man. But, hey, you know what? We've seen it time and time again, Dream, and we'll have to move on to it next week.
I also got to give Dream. I got to give you a little props too, because in the first half, you were dead on about the Alabama quarterback play. But it was bad.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about with them. I mean, defense will carry it and win championships, but I just think something's going to happen to Alabama and knock them off. So I'm almost tempted just to bet the field right now, because I don't know what it is right now, but I'm going to wait till that's plus money. I'm going to bet.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're 100% right, Hatter, in the fact that, look, if you get up 14 on Alabama quick, special teams touchdown, fumble recovery, pick six, something like that, and you force Alabama to throw the ball, I don't know if they can come back from 2 or 3 touchdowns on you.
Exactly.
It's just getting up that point with those machines.
Yeah,
right.
It's got to break. It's going to have to break for a team. Like, that team's going to have to be extremely lucky still.
Yeah, you get like a strip sack, return for a touchdown, and you get another short field, and
right.
And you get, and especially if it's a prolific offense, that could figure out broken plays. Broken plays are the biggest caveats to a defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's designed to go one way, he cuts back the other way, and sure enough, now you're down.
I mean, there's teams in years past. I just am looking at the field this year, and it is miserable. I mean, there's I don't know if anyone this year. I mean, Clemson maybe could hang with Alabama for a half. I still don't know, even with the poor quarterback play, like who could actually hang with them for 60 minutes.
I don't know. It all depends. I think the Ohio State University can, honestly.
Well, if their quarterbacks combined are going to go like 13 for 45. it's gonna be the worst game. Worst quarterback play bowl game ever.
Well, let's go into the NFL because I'm getting ready for it, and I want to make some money today, and I want to make up for Harvard yesterday. I still can't believe Harvard lost. I still can't believe it. First time in 9 years. Damn. But anyway, it's time, boys. Let's talk about the NFL and move on. And I am going to kick it off today with you, Dream. Where are you at today as far as the NFL is concerned?
One play, one game stands out the most. Biggest game on the board as far as I'm concerned. Must-win position. A team that's right now 4-5 and probably one of the better teams in the NFL, but they're at 4-5. Had a bad schedule, overcome injuries, and they're playing the worst team in football. Don't go any further than Pittsburgh Steelers wins today, hands down, no questions asked. Now, the question that you got to ask yourself: the 8.5. Do you want to lay the 8.5 or not? I think you can lay the 8.5 and still win, but if you're smart, you go ahead and put this in a money line or a teaser situation, and you add 1 to 2 teams to it. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers today. I don't think we need to go into any great detail. We know what they could do. Roethlisberger, backs against the wall, got to have a win. Cleveland Browns, worst team in football, shouldn't be able to defend this Pittsburgh Steelers team. I want to see Brown get going today. I want to see Bell get going today. I want to see Pittsburgh having some fun. I want to see them sling the ball, and I want to hear some slow songs and some flowers in Cleveland.
All right. Well, Dream, I don't know if you remember what Pittsburgh has done to you on the road several times this year.
This is a situation, player. This is not about what they did on the road in weeks past. This is a bad situation for the Steelers. Well, I mean, a great situation for them right now because they have to have this win for their season, player.
Okay. I'm with you. Dan, what's your thoughts on that game?
I mean, I see where you can't pick against Pittsburgh, right? It's just that road. What they've done on the road is horrifying. I mean, and they don't look good. So, look, while I think they're going to win, if I was, I being a spread player, no way would I touch this at 8 points. I think this is going to be a pretty dirty game. I think it's, lots of wind. Let's look at the weather real quick. We're saying 37%, no rain, but 25-mile-per-hour winds with, gusts that are even heavier. So you wonder, that obviously benefits, I think, Pittsburgh, but does it mitigate some of the points they can score? I wish you the best of luck. I mean, I don't think Cleveland gets a win at all this year, so,
Wow.
Well, and I'm probably going to money line it or put it in a teaser, but I think Pittsburgh, they're going to cover the 8.5 because I think they're going to come out really focused. The weather, to me, favors Pittsburgh as they have the better run game and they got the quarterback with the stronger arm because, who knows what
100%.
The Browns are going to play anyway. So I think the weather is Pittsburgh's favorite.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing that bothers me about Pittsburgh. They only average 17.5 points per game on the road. That's it. I don't know what happens to them when they're on the road, Dream. I just cannot figure it out. And I understand where you're going, and it seems like the logical play. I get it. I don't know, though.
It's very weird because they travel very, very well, too. They're always in the stadium, so.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, fellas, can I get a timeout? Guys, the Steelers are playing a Cleveland Browns.
I get it. I understand that.
It's Cleveland.
All right, I get it. Cleve. But Cleveland's got to win a game at some point, Dream.
Not today.
Not today. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's.
Dream, they did they did lose to the Dolphins and the Ravens on the road. That's why it scares you. I know the Browns aren't the Dolphins hatters, so I'm not hating on you. I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
I'm hating on
30 to 15 on the road against the Dolphins. That was like pathetic.
Yeah, that's where the guy was throwing up and everything on the sideline. All right. So Dan, I'm going to kick it over to you. What do you got?
So we'll stay with 1 o'clock, and what is we are going to go with the Detroit Lions today.
All right, -7 points versus the Jags.
I just I'm all over Matt Stafford. I think he really exploits this Jacksonville team that people continue to be high on, which I'm not really understanding, but more power to him.
They might be done with. They might be done with him by now.
Yeah, you would hope so if you're trying to get. But this line is also down. I'm seeing it in places at 6, and so I'm going to lock the Lions in at -6. I think Ebron has a big day today. Exploiting the middle of this team. I really think Detroit rolls big today.
All right, sounds good. Looking at a couple of things here on Twitter, got somebody named Bobby Christensen saying that Pittsburgh better win today. So we'll see.
BC, let's get that win. It is Cleveland, and Pittsburgh has to win right now.
All right, sounds good. So moving on here. So you're on Detroit, Dan, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, the Detroit Lions playing for first place. Yeah. You have a big game coming up on Thanksgiving against, I believe, Minnesota, right? And this is Jacksonville. This is at home. This is, they've really started to click. I think Detroit rolls all over them today.
You know what? I agree with you, Dan. And I'm going to tell you why. I have picked on the Jacksonville Jags several times on the road, and I've been very successful with them. Jacksonville, in the last 21 games on the road, guys, 2-19. They have 2 wins in 21 games on the road. That goes back just about 3 years that they have 2 road.
And one of them was against that pitiful Bears team this year that was playing like their 4th-string quarterback, and they won by a point.
Exactly. So, Dream, any thoughts there?
I look at this game, right?
Yep.
I agree with everything you guys said, and then I say to myself, it's Detroit though, like Cleveland. You know what I mean? I do that whole it's Detroit, and then I go, but it's the Jags too. So you're stuck in that conundrum of okay, well, it should be working out. Just, do you really trust this Lions team still?
Against Jacksonville, I do.
Yeah, I get it.
Against Jacksonville at home, yeah. I mean, if you look, Detroit has had some good wins already this year, so. Look, I know it's like every dog's got to have their day, and I hear you. It's like trusting Cincinnati in a game they have to win or something like that. But, Detroit, for all their flaws, they win at home, and I just think Jacksonville is just really – and again, that road record enough alone there.
But you do know that in the 4th quarter, with 2 minutes left, it is going to be 21-17 Jacksonville. Stafford dropped in the field to get the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, right.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. They'll be able to kick a field goal to tie it and go to overtime, and I'll be rooting for that push. And they'll fake field goal and win by 4.
Exactly. Right on. All right. Well, I may surprise you guys a little bit here. But I'm taking a team that both of you have bet and wagered on several times in the past. I'm looking ahead, right, and I'm keeping it right in the East Coast, and I'm going to take the New York Giants today. They are facing the 2-7 Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, man, unbelievably bad this year. I really like what the Giants do. I'm just thinking that 20.2 points. For some reason, I think this offense is going to start clicking a little bit more. And I think they're going to start putting up some more points. When you look at Chicago, Dream, they only average 15.7 points a game.
And no Alshon Jeffrey, guys.
No Alshon Jeffrey, exactly. You and I talked about that at the beginning of the show, Dan, before we got on the air. I'm feeling the Giants, and I actually think the Giants cover the 7. I'm going to take the Giants in a money line situation and I'm going to lay the number, and I'm going to buy it down to 6.5 just because that's what I want to do. If they win by 7, I will win instead of push. Dream, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like the Giants as well. It's the second piece of the puzzle. If you're getting involved with a 3-team parlay or a 3-team teaser or money line parlay, the Giants will go along with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really like this Giant team, and you've got Alshon Jeffries out of there, and then you have the chaos in the locker room that is Jake Cuddles. There's a lot of stuff going on in that locker room. There's talks about getting rid of him. There's talks about he's not getting along with people. Anytime you got, like the Bears, like the Bears are dope and need distractions because they don't, obviously. Right now to make them even worse. The other thing is, don't be surprised if Cuddles does not play this full game. I would not be surprised if Cuddles gets off to a bad start if they sit him and put Hoyer in. So keep that in mind when you're playing. I think the Giants are going to be successful either way. The one thing I am going to say about the Bears, though, as bad as the Bears are, their defense hasn't been that bad this season. When you look at their defensive numbers, only allowed 358 yards, 260 through the air, and 98 on the ground. That's not too shabby and kind of impressive. However, I expect the Giants to probably win this game with no problems. When you look at that spread, the Giants love winning the game by a field goal.
They do, but I'm with you on what you're saying about Cuddles here, and I'm gonna tell you why. Landon Collins, who is obviously rising star. I mean, I think he's had a pick. I think he's averaging like a pick every other game right now, and we know that Cuddles loves to just throw the ball up in the air under duress. And the way that the Giants have been playing defense, and the way that Spags is back, calling like those crazy exotic blitzes. And again, you don't have a guy like Alshon Jeffrey that when Cuddles makes a mistake, he can go up top and get that ball. I fully expect that the Giants are going to put Chicago in a lot of bad defensive positions. Their defense is not terrible, but, I think they're going to be playing from midfield a lot. I think the Giants, they really showed something last week, finally scoring on the opening drive, putting some really good drives together. You got guys, like Will Tye, who you don't even think about. Guys like 7 catches last week because everybody's trying to cover, the 3-headed monster, or the 2-headed monster, whatever's out there at the time. So look, the Giants have won every game so close this year. I'm with you, Hatter. I finally think they win a game big.
Yeah, I think so too. And the only challenge I have with the Giants is their rushing. I mean, their rushing attack, they only average 74 yards a game. I mean,
it got on track last week a little bit, though.
I know. And the Bears defense is not that bad. So, maybe a low-scoring game in the beginning, but the Giants break away. I think the Giants win by 10 or more. So I'm going to take the Giants today. That's where I'm on. So I am going to kick it over to the Dream and see what you got next. But before you do that, by the way, guys, the Bears are 0-5 on the road. Just saying. Dream, what do you got?
All right. As we move on, now that's the 2 1 o'clock plays, so I'm probably going to pair that together, and I don't believe I'm going to add a third, as I like those two. But I want to just stay at the 1 o'clock time slot to talk about a game right now, just to discuss this game. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and I'll obviously give out my thoughts. And that would be, as you guys know, I like to pick an over every week, and I seem to have success whenever the Titans are involved and also the Colts are involved. This particular week, they're involved against each other. I like the over in this particular matchup. If you could get this involved in a teaser, it's at 53. If you can get it down to 40, throw 8 to 10 points on it. I think you're going to have a successful over hit. As we do know, the Indiana Colts defense cannot cover anything.
At
They
all.
don't even need to really suit up in dresses. They should just go out there and just tell the guys, hey, listen, just run around and see if you could bat the ball down and see if you can maybe trip.
No doubt. And you know what? If you're a fantasy football player today and you're doing daily fantasy, obviously you might want to get some of these players in your roster. I have Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton in one of my lineups today. Dan, what's your thoughts on this game?
At 53.5, I think it is. How can you not? I'm with you. It seems low. I think that over gets smashed.
You really think so? I mean, the last 5 games for Tennessee have all gone over, Dream.
Yep.
And 5 of the last 6 games for Indianapolis have gone over. And 4 of the last 5 when these two teams have played each other have gone over. So all the trends point into that direction. You know what? I wish you the best of luck if you get involved in that one.
Thank
to be
you,
honest.
sir.
All right. So, Dan, what do you got next?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a ton on this card, but I feel like we have to stay at 1 o'clock. And, Dream, you're going with an over. I'm kind of feeling an under today.
Where you at?
Arizona, Minnesota.
Arizona, Minnesota. The under-over is 40. Minnesota is minus 1.5. They're actually favored in this game after losing all these games in a row now.
Yeah, and you got to think that, I mean, and Arizona just has not impressed you at all. Palmer, I mean, the quarterback play has been bad. The rushing attack, which, got stifled last week, and I think that's a blueprint. I really think that this is going to be a very, very ugly, ugly game. I could really see this being like a 16-13 affair. That's my thoughts, and I just like the under here.
Well, you got the number 2 and number 3 defenses in the National Football League playing each other today. And Arizona gives up 295 yards only defensively, and the Minnesota Vikings 308.8 to be exact. Number 2 versus number 3. And as far as points are concerned, guys, Arizona's 17.8 points a game, where Minnesota only allows 16.9. I agree with you, Dan. This might be a knockdown, drag-out affair, just kind of a boring matchup for a little while here. Maybe towards the end it gets a little hairy as far as that total is concerned, but I understand where you're going with it. And 4 of the last 6 Arizona games have gone under, and with the Minnesota Vikings, 6 of the last 8 have gone under as well. So,
yeah, I feel like the one thing that Arizona can sometimes do is throw the ball deep, but I don't think anybody covers the deep ball really better than the Vikings. So,
Got it. All right. So it's my turn. And I'm going into another game. I'm going into a team that I've been riding pretty high. And I'm going to continue to do that. And that is the Kansas City Chiefs, who are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Chiefs are 7-2. I called this team to win their division, and I'm going to ride them today. I'm going to match them up with the Giants for the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Giants to win their respective games today in a moneyline parlay. I don't think I'm laying the 7 with them, though. When you look at them against the spread, I mean, let's just see here. At home, against the spread, Kansas City 1-6 in the last 7 games at home against the spread. So I don't really like it. I've been in some of those situations where they haven't covered, so I'm going to fall back from the line itself. But I like them to win this game. Dream, any thoughts on this game?
No, I happen to agree with you. I think the Chiefs will win. Another ugly game. This Tampa Bay team, they show sputters of being okay and then bomb. They haven't been particularly good on the road. Chiefs defensively are defensively sound. I don't expect them to let this game get away. But it's just something about it I don't really like. I don't find it an attractive game. Not really appealing to me, so I'm just staying away from it. But I think that you win. Are you laying the 7?
No, not with this game.
Okay, good.
I think you can, guys. Look, Justin Houston makes a return today. Obviously, I would think that he's 100%, or they would keep holding him back since he's so valuable to the team. That being said, I kind of expect Jameis to be running for his life today.
Okay.
I really think that the defense is going to do some things where they finally step up real big. They finally win a game big. That being said, Hatter, I still think the Raiders are winning this division.
Really?
I really do. If you look at the schedules, I mean, the Chiefs have the Bucs today at home, then at Denver, at Atlanta, and the Raiders have home on Monday night against the Texans. I believe they should win that. Home against a really pitiful Panthers team. Home against the Bills, and then they go at the Chiefs, which is going to be a great game, and then at the Chargers. And the Chargers aren't bad, but look, you're looking at a 7-2 Raiders team as well right now. Would you be surprised if they went 12-4?
Yeah, I would actually. I'd be.
You would?
Well, if you talked to me about that in the beginning of the year, definitely shocked.
Well, beginning of the year, I'm saying right now at this
right
point.
now, no. I mean, just rattling off that schedule, I mean, it does make sense. But, looking at the Tampa Bay Bucks, guys, one of the worst defenses in the league. Giving up they give up 386 yards and 26.9 points per game. I think Kansas City could contain them. Like you said, Jameis Winston running for his life. And I think Kansas City does enough to get it done. But I don't want to lay the spread on this one. So I'm going to fall back from that.
It's another over that's kind of good, too. 44.5.
Oh, man, tough one. Because you know what? You get that garbage touchdown at the end, and you know how it works. So,
Well, the over,
you like the over.
20. I don't know. Got to look at those team totals and make a decision. But Kansas City should roll on these guys today.
Yeah, you would think so, but it is the
Kansas
NFL.
City doesn't roll on anybody. Kansas City's one of those teams that plays to the ability, they play to the talent that they're playing for some reason. I mean, look at them against the Jets. You know what I mean? They don't smoke show you. I don't know why. So I don't really particularly like the spread or the over in that particular game. I mean, they might hit it. You might be right, Dan, but it's not going to be because of Kansas City. It's going to be because Tampa Bay scored a couple touchdowns.
All right. So, Dream, where you at next?
All right, let's take it. You guys, I think I'm pretty good. Well, you know what? Let's stay at 1 o'clock. Why don't we just stay at 1 o'clock? Got to go talk about the Bills-Bengals for a minute. This is an interesting game for both of these teams because I think this game is kind of going to figure out where you're going to go with the rest of your seasons. I think this game's important for both of these teams. I'm not really sure which one is the powerhouse out of the two of these. I'm leaning a little bit towards Cincinnati as they're being, they've seemed to pick up their gameplay slightly. What's your thoughts on this game?
Dan, what's your thoughts?
Oh, man. I mean, this is tough. I mean, you have the Bills limping into Cincinnati. They've lost 3 in a row. You have the Bengals, I mean, that have their season is off the rails. And, 3-5-1, so while it's not over yet, it's getting pretty close to over. And the only win that the Bengals have had in the last month was the Browns at home.
Right.
Okay? So, brutal loss at the Giants by a point, obviously. This is a really, really tough game. I think the Bills win this game because I think the Bills see a path still, right? They're 4-5, and their next game's like the Bengals. They're telling themselves, all right, we can beat the Bengals on the road. Then you got the Jaguars at home. Then you got to go to Oakland, but then you have home games, Steelers and Browns. So, they're saying, oh, you know how Rex is. I don't know what you're telling the Cincinnati Bengals if you're coaching them right now. I mean, they've looked bad. They've played bad. And they've just gotten bitten on everything. So this is a game that if you feel obligated to play it, I think you get it up over 3 and you take the Bills plus 3.5 and possibly the under 47.5. But this is kind of a nasty game.
It is a nasty game, and I got to be honest with you. I have no interest whatsoever in taking the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills in the last 9 games on the road, guys, they've won 2 of them. 2-7 overall on the road. So this team is not getting it done. You go into Cincinnati, that's a tough place to play. The challenge is, who knows where Cincinnati's heads are at after that loss to the Giants. They were up that whole game, and they should have won that game, but ended up squandering the lead and losing at the end there. So, you know what, when I look at this here,
reminds me of the Giants.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is a tough place to play. This is going to be an ugly game. So I would not even think of putting my money on this one, to be honest with you. I'm just going to sit back and watch a little bit of NFL Red Zone today, and maybe they'll go into this game a couple times so I can get a look at it. So let's see. Moving on to you, Dan. You got anything else up here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great card today, and I think this is a game. I'm not sure if I'm playing it yet. I wanted to hear your guys' opinions because it's another 1-o'clocker, and we got obviously the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
A touchdown favorite at home against Baltimore. Somehow the first place Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, right.
Which just makes me laugh. Because, I mean, they're 5-4, yeah. I think Dallas destroys Baltimore today.
Really?
I don't think it's close.
Annihilation.
I'll pick it on that Baltimore.
Well, it's done me good.
Yeah, yes.
It's done me good.
He's done very well betting against Baltimore. And Dream, it's going to be a total annihilation, Dream. Total
Dream,
annihilation.
here's my thing on this. Let's just look at who Baltimore's played. At Jacksonville, they won by 2. Great. They lost to the Raiders, which no shame in that. Raiders are good. They barely were able to get on the board against the Redskins. They lost to my Giants. They lost to the Jets. They did beat the Steelers at home, okay, and they beat the Browns. To me, nothing there is standing out. The Cowboys, the best offensive line probably in the game right now. Ezekiel Elliott is going to destroy this Baltimore Ravens defense. And then when he takes a break, they're going to be able to be hitting. I think Jason Witten has a huge game. And this pains me to say this. I want them to lose. I will sacrifice the dollars I am putting on the Cowboys if they lose. But that ain't happening.
Dude, do you realize that Baltimore has the number 1 rush defense in the NFL?
I was just getting ready to say that.
Look at the schedule. Well, which coach just said? Which coach was it that just said stats are basically BS? It was a big time coach, and it was the funniest thing because sometimes, look, when you're in a sport like baseball or basketball or hockey, right, over 82 or whatever, 160 games. But you got to look at the competition against, okay? Baltimore's had a good run defense against teams that can't run the ball.
All right. Dream.
I mean, except for the Steelers, who else that they play can run the ball?
I got the idea. I understand. Dream, what's your thoughts on that?
You know, there's just something about this game. I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, like, Dallas should win. I like Dallas. You know, I love what Tony Romo did, and Dallas fans are feeling themselves. But that whole too easy thing written on it.
Yeah, I get it.
All I would say is this: I just think you should get rid of the points. I think you should at least get it under a field goal, because it might be a closer game than you think.
It's not a bad idea, and if you go with a 3-team 7-point tease with Detroit, the Giants, and the Cowboys, I think that's a nice 7-point tease right there.
All right, and guys, we got some comments in here, and we are doing everything we can to fix it. We know that the evil genius is a little louder than us. We get it. We get it. But we'll get that thing wrapped up for you. Don't worry about that. So, you know, Dan's very opinionated anyway, so you need to be a little louder, right, Dan?
Hey, it happens.
All right. Sounds.
Dan's headset is sponsored by Trump, by the way.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, when you got to take over, you just got to take over.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
It'd be nice if I could hear some music, you know. Turn my music up.
Yep, got it. All right, guys. So we got to go into this game. This is an ugly game, I think, here. But we got to talk about my Miami Dolphins, who I believe will be a 10-6 team this year. The problem is, being a 10-6 team, I just don't know if that's going to get you into the playoffs. Considering the fact that you've got the AFC West that's got Denver, the Raiders, and Kansas City. So you're probably going to get the 2 wildcard teams out of that division, believe it or not. Miami rolling in, very hot, winners of 4 consecutive games, 5-4. Going into the LA Rams. Jared Goff is getting his first start, Dan.
I know. It's great.
And when you look at this here, when these two teams have played each other, I mean, this goes back forever, but the LA Rams have lost 9 out of 10 games versus Miami. Miami going into LA, the Rams only average 15.4 points a game, guys. They don't even score at all. So their defense has obviously kept them in these ball games here. For some reason, I can't. I want to take Miami so bad, but it's bothering me. This is the one game that you would think they come out and lose. Dream, what's your thoughts here?
I absolutely disagree with you. I don't think that they lose this game at all. This Ram team, dude, first of all, they're talking about letting Goff go today at the helm, so Miami's defense has got to look at their tops for that. They cannot get Gurley going in this offense. This offense, it's just got nothing happening. Their offensive line isn't effectively blocking. I don't expect them to have any success blocking against Miami's defensive line. You know, defensively, this team, they're allowing, 340 yards. They're allowing 236 through the air. 103 on the ground is not too bad of a stat, but I expect that Miami's going to find some success running their ball if they keep pounding at it. I think Miami wins this game. I'm not going near it because both teams are like Miami's 5-4, and I don't know how.
I know how, because they've been playing pretty well.
Yeah, no, I still don't know how. I mean, like Dan says, the product of your schedule, a couple of games in there, a couple of things could have went maybe a couple of different ways, but they didn't. I just don't think the Dolphins are a good team. I don't think Daniel's a good quarterback. You do have some life with that running game. However, that being said, I still think the Dolphins are better than the Rams.
Wow, Dream. Well, you know what? Thank you very much for taking my team. So you know what I got to do for you? I got to play your jam in the back. All eyes on me. So, damn.
I don't know, man. There's something telling me that this Rams team has been kind of clamoring for Goff, and if he actually can start off the game hot, you get the whole crowd behind you. This game just worries me. I'm not going to play it. I'll be honest, I started the Rams defense in a couple daily fantasy leagues, though.
It makes sense. I understand it. Totally get it.
So.
And, anybody ballsy enough to take Jared Goff on their fantasy team today?
If you do that and he lights it up, you're winning $1 million.
Yeah, pretty much. But, well, the thing is,
take him and Gurley, and if they both, if they both light it up, you're a millionaire.
I know, exactly. So my man, Direct Sports Solutions, feeling the Miami Dolphins today. So best of luck to you, brother. I'm going to be there playing cheerleader for you, but I'm not going to put my money on this game. I'm going to move over to another game at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the New England Patriots going into the San Francisco 49ers. New England Dream minus 13 points with an under over of 51.5. I am surprised you're not foaming at the mouth over this game.
And I absolutely am.
Oh, you are? All right, because I haven't heard much rhetoric about it. So talk to me about it.
4 o'clock game, I was coming to that. We killed the 1 o'clock, so now we moved to 4. I don't have to tell you how bad the Niners are because I tell you about that week in and week out. In come the Patriots, best team in football as far as I'm concerned, coming off of a bonehead ending of a game last week that I'm still trying to figure out what got into their minds and why they wouldn't run the ball 3 times. Why LeGarrette Blount wouldn't extend his hands. I don't know what happened at the end of that game against a bad Seattle team that all of a sudden they looked incredible as well. Very bizarre game, very bad game, but let's forget about it and move on because you do have the San Francisco 49ers and none of the things that the Seattle Seahawks were able to do will the Niners be able to do.
Yeah, right.
Now, look at that 12.5. You know how I feel about points. Just don't mess with them. So you got great opportunities. We got Pitt, New York Giants, and you can add the New England Patriots to that mix. You got a couple of overs that we gave out. Dan gave out that under, which I happen to like as well, the Minnesota under as well. You could put the Patriots in that. Just tease it, parlay it, whatever you got to do. Knock those points down. I believe you get this under a touchdown, you're good. But why not with today's football? Just because you can get this under a field goal.
Yeah, you know what? If you did a 10-point 3-team teaser there, you're going to have the Giants plus, 3? You're going to have New England minus 2.5. And then what was your other game, Dream?
Pittsburgh
at a pick'em. Or actually, Pittsburgh plus points.
Right.
Not bad at all. Dan, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, so the spread's big, and the problem is the weather's supposed to be bad out there.
Okay.
That being said, I think LeGarrette Blount has a huge game today. I know that the Niners managed to somehow shut down the Arizona rushing game, but they've been one of the worst run defenses in the league. And I think that, you have LeGarrette Blount that really probably wants to prove something going out there this week. So that being said, I'm going to I'm plugging him into daily fantasy. I think the Patriots win big. It's just something I'll stay away from due to weather.
All right, sounds good.
The thing I do love about the Niners, though, you got to give them this props. The Niners did get that one win out of your system early, so it wasn't going to be we're not going.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point.
San Francisco's defense, by the way, 180 yards allowed on the ground.
I know.
About this week in and week out started at the beginning of the season when I told you that the offense that Chip Kelly runs leaves his defense on the field for 2 to 4 extra plays a game, and you add that up week in and week out, that defense is really banged up and bad this week. Dan, you're absolutely right. If you're doing fantasy and you got LeGarrette Blount, or you have him when you're doing daily, pick him up and put him in because I think he's gonna have a lot of success.
All right, do we know the status of Martellus Bennett?
I'll take a look at that.
That's questionable. But Gronkowski is out.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to take a shot with Bennett. Obviously, I'll swap him out of the daily fantasy team if if he's not playing. But without Gronk, he should have a pretty big game. And I'm looking for Chris Hogan too, Dan.
Yeah, let me take a look. Bennett, it looks like he should play.
All right.
And I'm with you. When he was on the Giants, I really wanted them to re-sign him. I think he's a categorically underrated tight end. And especially with, look, Gronk's going to miss 3 or 4 games every year. It's just the way it is, and you just need him healthy for the playoffs. And it looks like the Patriots are actually about to offer Martellus Bennett a decent contract as well. So, Chris Hogan... he's looking like he might be out, but I'm not 100% on that. So I'm looking at ESPN right now to see what's up.
Yeah, usually you get a lot of points with.
He's ruled out. He's ruled out.
Right, so Chris Hogan is out. He's been a pretty big target for Tom Brady lately. So Martellus Bennett should be a fantasy beast today, if he's in the game, obviously.
Yes.
Let's go over to the Eagles at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle 4-0 at home with the 12th man, given 6.5 with an under over a 42.5. Dream, I got to be honest with you. I love the Seahawks today. And I never bet the Seahawks.
I know, but be
careful. I never bet the Seahawks.
Because I'm with you, too. I love them, too. But in the back of my mind, I am not going to forget that just 2 weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills, against the New Orleans Saints, they could not protect Russell Wilson. All of a sudden, last week, out of nowhere, they found the ability to protect him. This Philadelphia Eagles defense can get at the quarterback. They got a good defensive line. I think where Philly woes come defensively is, one, they get left on the field too long, and 2, they have I see some issues with their secondary play, but their up front is pretty stout and potent. Now, keep in mind, Christian Michael no longer with Seattle Seahawks. They're going to run with Rawls, and I believe you pronounced the name Perilou. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation of it.
No, I think you got it.
All right, the new kid just came in last week. He had some success. They're going in those directions. So you're dealing with 2 guys that right now are question marks as far as the running game is concerned with Seattle. So keep that in mind when you wager on this game. The problem with the Eagles is Eagles are an okay team, but offensively, they just don't scare you, and they don't have a lot of weapons. We're starting to see Carson Wentz obviously come back to earth as far as his gameplay is concerned as well. I do think that Seattle's going to find a way to win, but I'm not crazy about this game, and I'm going to try to stay away from it if I can.
So
it is scary.
So you guys got Rawls is definitely starting.
Yeah, well, he's definitely in. They're going to stagger his counts, but he's definitely in.
Okay, because he is only $4,300 right now on one of the fantasy sites I'm on.
Yeah, but he's coming off a leg injury. That's a real big risk play.
Okay.
If you're doing that, that's a big risk play. Even at $4,300, I still think that's overvalued, my opinion. Here's why I think Philadelphia can wreck this game. And obviously, you know me, I hate the Eagles. I hope Seattle kills them, but the Eagles right now are the number 6 team in sacks, 25 sacks already on the year. Not only that, they're tied for 7th in interceptions with 9. That is a bad combination against what still might be one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
Okay.
You have a team that can rush the passer and wreck the game that way, and then you also have guys that can intercept the ball. I can't touch this game. I know Seattle's defense is unbelievable. I don't expect Philadelphia to really do anything. This is going to be a game where basically who blinks first, who makes the most mistakes. I think that's how this game plays out.
Any chance of an under coming to form?
I mean, you got to kind of think so. I mean, what is the number at right now?
The under over
42. I have 42.
All right, you got 42. Got it.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, you got to think so. Unless, and look, you can never account for special teams touchdowns and things like that. But you get worried about that because like strip sack possibilities and interceptions, never a good thing. I say stay away from it.
All right, sounds good. But I like Seattle to win the game today. I just, Philly on the road has not been all successful, and their defense. You know what I mean? It's like Jekyll and Hyde on the road. Between being on the road and being at home. when I look at it here, I like Seattle to get it done in an ugly game, but I believe they will win this game.
So you're not on the 6.5 though.
Possibly. It all depends on how I do at 1 o'clock.
I love it.
All
Love
right.
it.
Well, usually what I do is I take all my plays and I parlay them anyway. So I may end up getting that minus 6.5 and getting it down from 7. One more game on a ticket.
Hold on 1 second. Back to your Rawls comment. The only thing I'm going to tell you about Rawls, though, is supposedly Rawls was available 2 games ago, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, and they didn't bring him in. They didn't let him play. So he might, even though he's coming in from an injury, he's considered to be at like 100%. They've been hiding him. They are going to probably keep his count down low because they do have the emergence of the other running back. But you taking a shot with him in fantasy might not be as big as a gamble as it looks. So if you're not doing that, you might be okay because he is supposed to be extremely healthy.
Well, you know what? You got to understand. Yeah, you get these, these first and goals at the 3. You get even 2-point conversions and stuff like that. I mean, you do rack up a lot of points, and they do have to score. And you don't really consider Russell Wilson a big threat through the air, like a massive threat like some of the other elite quarterbacks. So, you can start rattling up some points. Now, here's the deal, though. Seattle is number 30 in the land in rushing. They only average 77.7 yards per game on the ground. That's it. Number 30.
That's why let Christian Michael go.
Yeah, right, exactly. So,
and look, the only reason I'm saying it's a risk is that I've stashed Thomas Rawls on my annual fantasy league all year because I think in the next couple weeks he's gonna have a great impact on the game. But they are saying that right now that CJ Prosise is being treated as the starter. So we'll see. I mean, you might be right, Dream. You might be right. Maybe they were stashing. Maybe he's 100%. But again, I also know that 77 yards was not Christine Michael's fault necessarily. That offensive line can't protect for the rush or the pass. So,
Got it. All right, guys. So moving on, we have Sunday Night Football. And when you look at what we have here, we've got the Green Bay Packers who have sucked in the last 2 weeks. And, Dan, I know that's a real sore subject for you.
Oh, my God, dude.
Green Bay at Washington. Washington -3 with an under over a 49.5. Dan, I'm going to let you lead off on this one.
Yeah, so the Green Bay Packers have been added to my banned list of gambling teams. Okay. After I lost $1,000 on them last week.
Ouch.
So that being said, I was super busy, and whenever I make a huge play like that, it just, I like to be in my own little world, and I couldn't do that. And I looked down, it's like 21-0. I'm like, all right. I'm like, good. Gonna go get a sandwich.
21-0, Dream.
In like the first quarter. I mean, what a just absolutely pathetic garbage game. That being said, I don't know how to feel about this because, like, the Redskins are kind of Jekyll and Hyde. The Packers look awful, but, I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm not understanding. 1 week they have a great run defense, and they can't play offense. The next week, the run defense completely craps the bed, and they look okay on offense. And, Dream, I think this goes back to something you've touched on a couple times, where when, like, you got a guy like Jordy Nelson, and I love it for fantasy, but he's gotten, like, 15 targets, 20 targets sometimes. I mean, crazy. Like, I think it's disrupting their offense.
Agreed. Well, I talked about I don't like Mike McCarthy making the play calling. I've talked about I don't like Green Bay's tight end gameplay. I think they're missing that Jimmy Graham-ish type tight end. That Green Bay needs that. I think all great quarterbacks, if you look at the better quarterbacks in the NFL, they have that outlet to that tight end that's, one of the better tight ends as far as catching and, getting that ball down the field. And the Green Bay's missing that element. However, the one thing I am going to say about Green Bay today that I am feeling pretty pumped about is I think Christian Michaels is going to be he's coming in like the cavalry, stopping the Indians from attacking you. I think Christian Michaels implemented in this running game is going to be a big help because even if Michaels only gets, let's just say he gets 70 yards, okay, today, which is not huge. it's just going to just open up that one little window for this pass game and take a little bit of pressure off of Aaron Rodgers. He'll be able to maybe get a little bit more comfortable in that pocket and get that ball out and get it down the field. But, Dan, you're right. Rodgers do need to look in other places and stop trying to solely look at Jordy Nelson, because I don't feel Jordy Nelson's 100% anyway. I don't think that he was 100% when he came back and hasn't been at all this season.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I agree with you. I think Christine Michael is a professional running back. I understand why Seattle cut him, and that's fine. The thing is, if they could also use him, to throw the ball out of the backfield, because I'm with you. They need that tight end, which they haven't had since Jermichael Finley was there and got injured. And they also don't have a running back to rely on. I mean, look, people want to blame Rodgers, but look at the talent around them. They have good wide receiver depth. They have no depth anywhere else, and their offensive line, again, is not that good.
Got it. All right. And I don't really have an opinion on this game, but I'm looking at a couple of comments here. My man Bobby Christians is saying that the Redskins win big versus the Packers today. I don't know about that.
Redskins never win big.
This is an ugly game, but I'm just gonna. And Dream, you're gonna think I'm absolutely out of my skull doing this, but I'm filling out a fantasy team, and I see this team being down big. And I see their quarterback having a lot of yards and a lot of points because they're going to be down big the entire game. I'm going to take a team with Colin Kaepernick as my quarterback.
Oh my God.
Dream?
Yeah,
Can you just donate that money to like a homeless shelter or something?
I can't stand Kaepernick. You know that.
I've got a comment for that.
All right, but I'm just saying $5,200.
How much money is that lineup?
What's that?
What dollar amount is that lineup? Because I'm gonna add it to my annual donation to like St. Jude's charity. You're just literally pissing that money down the toilet.
$5.
Friggin' Colin Kaepernick, come on.
$5.
$5 done. I will donate it in your name, sir.
Think about it. If they're down 30, he's gonna be airing the ball out every down.
Maybe I'll donate $5 to the Police Benevolence Association in Colin Kaepernick's name.
There you go.
Kaepernick could get pulled at.
Yeah.
That would be great. You're gonna lose by like 10 points. It's like Kaepernick got pulled after the first quarter.
Yeah, no doubt. Right, exactly.
Oh.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much gonna do it for us. Great show today, man. Great show. So unless you guys got anything, Dream, you got anything else?
I got nothing else. That Redskin Green Bay game, you might want to look at the total. You might want to look at the over. I know we talk about nobody likes the game right now, right? Nobody likes it. At 6 o'clock, the game will start looking like dope female at 1:59 in the morning.
Yeah, right. Good point. Exactly. So, all right, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to close out of here and get ready for Sunday football. Dream, what do you got to start off with?
All right, so guys, it is a 3-team. In my case, it's probably going to be a money line parlay, but you got to do what you guys want to do as far as the teaser is concerned. You might want to get involved with that. I like Pittsburgh, I like the New York Giants, and I like the New England Patriots. Dr. Dan talked on the show, and even though I said it's ugly and it's scary, I don't want to get involved with it. I kind of agree with the Dallas Cowboys. It's hard. It's hard for me to go against them right now. I mean, they've got a lot of momentum, and when I think about the feel-good feeling there with Tony Romo coming out too, this team's got to really be feeling themselves. So I think if you want to get that 1 o'clock money and be greedy, I think you could pull the pants out of there and just go Pittsburgh, Giants, and Dallas. I think Dallas is going to. I agree. I think Dallas is going to win today. I say it's a scary game, and it might not be a blowout. But I do think Dallas is going to have success against that Baltimore team. I don't like the Baltimore Ravens. I don't really care for Flacco that much. I like him more than Dr. Dan does, though. But I think Dallas is going to win.
That ain't hard.
Yeah, right. So I think you can, if you want to get your 1 o'clock money, Pittsburgh, Giants, and the Dallas Cowboys can go at 1. But then you're stuck with the Patriots minus the 12 at 4. So you got to keep that in mind, because do not take I don't like the Patriots minus the 12 points at 4 o'clock. So I don't know who you put that with. Maybe you go Seattle, but those were my thoughts on today.
All right, Dan, what are you on today?
Yeah, so I'm going to roll with Detroit -6, the Giants -6.5, the Cowboys -6.5. I got that Arizona Minnesota under 40.5, and then Hatter, I just something's. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm taking the Rams +1.
You're taking the Rams +1.
I'm taking the Rams +1, and let's hope today is better than yesterday. And then, hey, we actually look like we have a good slate of Thanksgiving games this year. So
yeah, that's right.
That should be nice.
That's right.
And I want to wish, since I won't be on, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Always great to come on the weekends. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys and your families and everything like that too.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a little bonus show or something, Dream. Maybe Wednesday night or something like that. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But, guys, right now, here's where I'm at. I am at 2 1 o'clock games. I am taking the New York Giants. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. And then I'm going to figure out, and that's going to be no spread with the Chiefs. I don't like it. But I'm going to get a money line parlay with the two teams. I'm going to get the Giants -6.5, buy that down to a half. Get rid of the 7 points, get it down to 6.5. Then I'm going to journey over to Seattle at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what I'm going to do with that game yet. Maybe I do a money line parlay and leave it open, but that's where I'm at. I think Seattle gets it done. So Giants, Kansas City, Seattle is what I'm on today. And I am going to watch.
I parlay all three of them.
I might do that as well. So, I parlay everything anyway.
No doubt.
So I think that's what I'm going to do. So, all right, boys, what do we got to do to close out of here, Dream?
Hey, also, I didn't talk about it, but I did talk about it during the show. Tennessee Indy over. I do like Tennessee Indy over as well, if you guys want to get involved with that. One of the other abilities you may or may not have, I can do it. I don't know if you can. You're able to buy that under down if you want to put it with the Pitt New York Giant money line and just buy the points down on the under, take it down 8 to 10 points and leave that in a parlay as well. You have that ability too if you don't want to get involved with the teaser, as the parlay probably pays better. So guys, do your homework. Put it all together and calculate it up and find out the one that pays the most money and way it works out and the one that's most favorable for you. As always, I'd like to thank everybody that's retweeted the show and gotten down with us this morning. As I'm pulling that up, give me 1 second. Sorry. And we got Cash Action Bets. We got Irvin out there. Winning Pitches out there. Rick Lopez. Vegas Girl 92661. Want to say, send a shout out to Scott Weaver, Terrence Mack, Jim Roman's Douche, Mr. Jonesy's in the house, Drew Gazy, Joseph Del Rosario, PT, Average Joe Punter, Direct Sports Solutions. Good morning to Mr. Charlie out there. Frank Vincolato, the incredible Marley Marlin, Jeff Ryan. Just to name a few. We got, hold on 1 second. Just pulling up a couple more, because I don't want to miss anybody, because we really appreciate the guys that get up this morning with us. That's JDH24, It Be Easy's in the house, OJFB, Spot Bet, KMVU, and Mario Martinez and Woots GG, just to name a few. Gang, a lot of good stuff today. I think this is a great week. Moneyline parlays, teasers. This is a very favorable week with an opportunity. So guess what? Your boy's up in the financial numbers today, because I haven't had a spot that I like this, like Dan says. Haven't seen nothing like this week. Let's get some of that money back this week. Let's get it back. Whatever you've been down this season or been lost, you might want to up your money just a little bit. Don't go crazy. I don't want to. Jim told me to bet my house. Don't do that. But you might want to up the numbers, because you got some favorable matchups. I think we can cash.
All right, sounds good, guys. Stan, what do you got to do to close out of here?
Oh, man. You guys know I love coming on every weekend. It's so great. I can't believe it. Last week finally was the first losing week in college football. It had been a magical run, trying to get back into college hoop as well. We'll be doing some stuff on that. But as always, football is king. I don't know if anybody else got anything on any of the other sports, but we can always tweet about it. Anyway, guys, thanks again for everything. I will see you next weekend, and everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
I got Todd Gurley questionable for that game, by the way, with the LA Rams.
Gurley's questionable?
Yes, sir.
All right,
guys, we love you to death. Go out there and go easy. Whatever. Dream says he's putting a lot of money, but you guys go easy.
I didn't say a lot.
You guys go easy, because don't listen to my boy.
I said I'm upping the numbers. I'm just upping the numbers a little bit, because there's some favorable match. We're at the point of the season where we kind of really know where these teams are, and we think we know what's going on here. So if you're gonna, it's called gambling, player.
I got the idea. So we love you to death. Go out there, go easy, rise and grind, make all your dreams a damn reality and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.
Don't go easy. Go hard or go home.